Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks. I'm sorry I didn't make this video yesterday. I was very sick. I still kind of am, but I am getting better. So I feel like I owe it to you to do this today, as I think this is going to be my last review video before the holidays. I do have another video planned. We'll see when it comes out. Then I'm going to take a break for the holidays, and then I am going to... I'll probably be back the weekend once the holidays are over. Maybe do another extracurricular video before diving back into reviews. So, yeah. Again, my apologies for not filming this yesterday. But I am going to be here doing this. It's not going to be as detailed as previous videos, because like I said, I am still very sick. But I am going to try my best. So, we're going to start off with NWA Power. Get this little interesting, actually kind of interesting matchup. You got the Rewind Society, which, great name, great gimmick. They're like old school 90s kids. It's hilarious. Against the debuting team of Carson and Lockjaw Drake. So it looks like they're going to be a team for a while. And this was pretty much an extended enhancement match. Like, Rewind Society did get some decent moves in, but Lockjaw and Carson pick up the win after a capital gains tax submission, which is a great name for a finisher, to pick up the win. Post-match, we get an interview with the Drakes, with Carson taking the lead, saying, "No one can beat us here. Reminds me of someone else who can't beat us. Kobe Carino. And yeah, I'd break my neck too if I had to wrestle myself." That point, Kobe Carino comes out. He still has the neck brace on. And the Drakes inevitably bail. This brings a highlight video for the entire NWA history, which, honestly, this is getting a little weird. I feel like it breaks up the show a little weirdly. Then we get a weird promo from Natalia Markova. I think it was pretty much the same after her title win last week, which, yeah, that's fine. Then we get an in-ring Kobe Carino promo, thanking everyone who sent a get well message to him, in which, "Get better soon, Mr. Carino. Miss ya." Saying when he was out, he was scared he wouldn't be back to do this. Didn't think he'd step in the ring again. But I was overwhelmed in the best way possible by all the support you gave me. I found out what I mean to all of you. And knowing everything I missed with my family, including birthdays, anniversaries, etc., was worth it because you're my family too. And as wrestlers, we are expected to be larger than life. But I've been trying to be someone else's hero. The truth is, this reminds me I'm human. And the difference between us and Drake is a person who walks over others to get ahead. But all you see is a broken man. But that's okay. Sometimes people break. Failure isn't for everybody. Just because you fail doesn't mean you can't get back up. And I will get back up to beat Carson Drake and fulfill my destiny and become World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I wanted to get into details on that because I loved that promo. And honestly, I don't know how real this injury is. Although, with the history of neck injuries in wrestling these days, I wouldn't doubt it's real. But I kind of dig it. It's kind of merging kayfabe and reality in a really interesting way that we haven't seen in a while. Like, if you remember Seth Rollins' injury leading up to SummerSlam, where he would be out and about in a leg brace, but apparently his daughter told his teacher, which, that's hilarious. Or like the Sandman back in the day when he was blinded. Like a little mix of kayfabe and reality. That's what makes wrestling so good. Anyway. We go to this next bit, and it is an Immortals promo. Where he pretty much says, yep, we're going to dominate the NWA for years to come. We're literally a 300-pound walking horror movie. We are their champs for the reason. This is grown-ass man shit. Which, great line from Kratos. Then we go back to the NWA executive boardroom. It's the Kazanas. It's their legal counsel. I'll say that. Then it's also the Slime Balls. And it's also someone else. I didn't quite catch who it was. No, it was Kenzie Page's dad, I think. Either way, with them basically yelling at each other for a little bit. With Joe Kazana saying, look, we got an NWA cooperation agreement ready for you. You sign it. You can get Hunter out of this match coming up with KC. Then, I forget the dude's name, I'm sorry. He pretty much throws the contract back at him, saying, you think I'm running for a fight? You got another thing coming. They storm out. Then AJ says, well, what about these boys here? The Slime Balls on there. Real hyped up, saying, well, with AJ now saying, well, we got the team for you. You're going to take on the Holy Grail next week. And yeah, it's pretty much weird negotiations I didn't really fully understand. Although it does get a little interesting a little later on. Just wait. Then we cut to the Power Station offices, which I guess it's the downstairs from the executive boardroom, with pretty much all the talent yelling at the Kazanas, which, you know, that's definitely going to be interesting. As we go to our next matchup, it's a no DQ match between KC Kazana and Hunter. And I'm going to say this, these two have some really, really good chemistry. Hunter with more of the high-flying Daredevil Jeff Hardy style. And then KC, kind of a hybrid style. Like, he's a hard hitter, but he also knows how to fly a bit. Now, this is where things get a little interesting. So, KC is on the outside. He grabs a chair, slides back in. He's about to use it. Kenzie Page then comes out, takes the chair from him. They jaw for a little bit. Kenzie then with a massive low blow. Hunter with a 450 splash to pick up the win. Then, as he's celebrating, he finally sees Kenzie. They argue a bit in the ring, and then Hunter leaves on his own. So, it does look like the family ties are fracturing a little bit, which it's going to be interesting to see how the Page family handles these trepidations. And we get, honestly, the same promo from Natalia Markova from a week ago. We get this similar NWA history highlights. Then we cut to Bit Crush, which apparently is a gaming store. We see Thrillbilly Silas Mason. He's talking to not Val, but the dude who's working there. I forget who it is. Then all of a sudden the Slime Balls come in. They talk about how they weren't invited to his championship celebration. And then the guy working there says, well, here's the thing. I can tell you a way to beat the Southern Six, his Thrillbilly's boys. So Thrillbilly kind of gives him the evil eye, says, tell him, Mel. Tell him your strategy. Mel. Okay, it's Mel. So Mel kind of gives him the side eye, looks at the Slime Ball, says, try your best. Which, honestly, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's how he sounded to me. So, initially the Slime Balls looked a little disappointed in that. Then they took one look at each other. They start kind of high-fiving each other, saying, that's all we wanted to hear from anyone. And they walk off and the segment ends. These two are so weird, but I love them so much. Like, there's something about the Slime Balls. They're just charismatic in the weirdest way possible. I don't know how to describe it. Like, they're weird. They're obvious outsiders. They're dang good wrestlers. They kind of remind me of the Hardy Boys when they first got started. And no, I'm not saying they're on the level of the Hardys, but they kind of got that, will do anything to win mentality that the Hardys did. They still technically do. So I think that's why I root for them. And then we get our main event for Power. It's for the NWA Women's title, as it was supposed to be Max the Impaler. However, that got changed last minute. Their replacement, Serena Vale, who we have seen a couple of times on Power. This is her first match in Power this year. So, definitely good to see her again, taking on the champion, Natalia Markova. This match was honestly really fun. It was a little bit slow to start. Eventually, it did get to a decent, to a place where it picked up a little bit. But before long, cut to commercial. We come back, we see the face-off between Latimer and Thrillbilly Silas Mason from a couple weeks ago. Then we get the Trevor Murdoch challenge for Tom Latimer, which is going down later tonight, which should be fun. Then we get a little Southern Six promo. saying how, oh, there's not a lot of teams we haven't beat lately. But next week we got the Slime Balls. So the Slime Balls slither in. Pretty much saying, oh, you're talking about our party we're going to have? I bet you're so jealous. So, Alex, actually, I think it's Kerry Morton that says, look, we want to keep this in the ring. However, we want to add another stipulation. If you beat us, we will then invite you to our party, in which the Slime Balls celebrate that like little kids, which, like I said, the charisma of the Slime Balls is just, they're funny, obviously they're a little disgusting, but I'm so enamored with them. It's so funny. So we go back to the match. It has definitely picked up a lot, including Markova hitting a Jazz Stinger, which I don't know how long it's been since I've seen a Jazz Stinger before, but it's been a while. Eventually, she hits a head smash, a beautiful destruction kick to pick up the win. But as Markova is celebrating, Jody Lee Thomas, if you don't remember her, she was a part of the tag war between the Page family and the Kazanas at NWA 77. She attacks Markova post-match. Markova attempts to fight back, but Serena joins back in with Jody Lee Thomas hitting a jackhammer to finish the segment. So, yeah, definitely some interesting goings on. We have some new people stepping up, which is I'm always for. Maybe an interesting new alliance for the NWA. So, yeah, definitely an interesting way to end Power. Definitely going to be interesting to see what goes on from here. And that leads us to AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. Honestly, pay-per-view level TV special. And I'll tell you why right away. The card, that was a great looking card. And I am just... oh, that was so much fun to watch. Our first matchup, we get to crown new AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. We got the Timeless Love Bombs, so that's Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, taking on the Babes of Wrath, so that's Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. And this match, while good, I'm not going to say it was bad. It was very, very good. But it felt like they were rushing. It felt like they had such a short amount of time. But I felt like they got so much good stuff in. Match finish comes after an attempt by Shirakawa to hit the Glamorous Driver that gets blocked. Harley hits her finishing move, which is still one of my favorite names for a finishing move of all time. Tags in Willow, hits the Babe with Powerbomb to pick up the win, and your new Women's Tag Team Champions, the Babes of Wrath. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it should have gone to these people, it should have gone to the first real AEW Women's Tag Team, which I don't disagree with, but I am more than happy to see Willow, who has been just so good in her AEW career, and Harley Cameron, who has improved so much since she started wrestling, to get a prize like this. And honestly, whoever won here, I wasn't going to be mad. Like, this was a great tournament. This was a fun finale. And now we look to the future. What does the future for the AEW Women's Tag Division hold? And I'm here for it. So then we go to a Babes of Wrath in Ring interview, with Willow starting off saying, "Oh, that was the hardest fight in our life, but I'm proud of us. We've had a rough year. Harley has been here for me for a long time." Then the microphone goes to Harley, where we hear, "We met for the first time in my second ever match on Dark." Which, if y'all don't remember Dark, that was a YouTube exclusive show AEW did, which didn't really feature much storylines, but it was for the people on the roster who didn't really get a lot of TV time. In which, honestly, there's a new episode of Dark coming tonight, so be ready for that one. So Harley pretty much says, "While we started from the bottom, now we're here, holding up their tag team titles." They celebrate for a little more. As they're up on the turnbuckle, Tony Storm and Mia Shirakawa pull them down. I thought this was going to be a heel turn. Instead, they shake hands and they embrace. I love some good sportsmanship. I'm interested to see where this goes. So next up, we got a Samoa Joe promo. He is surrounded by not just the main members of the Ops, but also the Ops Dojo members, which they're extras. So Joe pretty much says, "Congratulations, Eddie Kingston. Your time has come. After weeks of asking, the person who you formerly idolized has been here the whole time. I don't care about men like you, but man you look up to is a good idea. Man who's going to show you what this industry is." A little bit rambling, but Joe makes an interesting point. So then we go to another part of the arena, maybe backstage somewhere, for a Death Riders promo. With Mox front and center saying, "Yeah, I feel alive. My back is against the wall. With one grain of sand I can score. I need some secondaries to score you lost. Let them doubt me. We are the hardest working group in wrestling. We wake up and we win. We have to take it, and that's what we're going to do in everything in time." I think that was actually Daniel Garcia and Yuta. So, that's definitely going to be interesting to see how the rest of this Continental Classic goes for the Death Riders. Speaking of the Continental Classic, we got another matchup, and it's a matchup of former Elite members, as we got Jungle Jack Perry taking on Kazuchika Okada. Now, I'm going to say this. Yes, they are former teammates. In a short-lived version of the Elite, where it was the Young Bucks, Okada, and Perry, in which it was after Perry's run-in with CM Punk at All In. Probably not going to talk much about that. But, this match was really, really good. Lots of counters to go around. One point, Jack Perry locks in the snare trap. Eventually, Okada gets in the ropes. Okada then rolls to the outside thinking he's safe. Perry goes and grabs a chair from the timekeeper's area. Looked like he was going to use it, but then he just drops it, pulls Okada back in the ring, tries for a soup. It's real back and forth. It's really, really good. Eventually, Perry goes for a knee. That gets caught. Okada with a body slam into the Rainmaker to pick up the win. Honestly, great win for Okada. I don't think that loss really hurts Perry that much, because I think the plan is to do more tag stuff with him. But yeah, we'll see what's up. Then Don Callis gets in the ring with a microphone, because of course he does. And he brings in other members of the Callis family. I think it's Hensha Zero and Josh Alexander. Helps Perry up, says, "This kid is businessman." That was a fantastic match. The toughest match in Okada's career. I have a lot of respect for you, Perry. But it's clear I tried to recruit the wrong talent. You have always been a great talent, but you have a lack of direction. As I now offer you a spot in the Don Callis family, and I'm prepared to give you a signing bonus out of the Young Bucks $1 million that I have here. In case it's not enough, what's taking you? And if you remember one thing, there's 7 of us, but only 1 of you. At that point, other members of the Callis family are out. So then Perry grabs a microphone, says, "Don, I have your answer, but I might be biting off more than I can chew." Jack Perry then attacks members of the Don Callis family, but the numbers are way too much for Perry himself. Out comes Luchasaurus. He starts beating up members of the Callis family, but they fight back on him. Then the Young Bucks come out with a couple of chairs, fight off the Callis family. They have Don Callis on his knees, ready for a BTE trigger. But Takeshita pushes Callis out of the way of some super kicks. Alexander eats a choke slam. And yeah, that ends the segment. So I'm wondering where this is going to lead. Because we just did Blood and Guts. Are we about to see something similar? Or is this going to be traditional, 8-man tag or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we do here. Next, we see members of the conglomeration celebrating with Willow and Harley backstage. Then you see Roddy in the corner, just mean mugging everybody. Then we get some Mercedes Moné highlights, showing her losing her Ring of Honor Women's TV title at, what was that, Final Battle? Which, that was interesting. Then we get an Eddie Kingston interview, in which he reveals this Wednesday was the anniversary of Terry Funk winning the World Heavyweight title. He has his parents in town to see this match. Mox, I know you're watching. You're going to have the fight of your life. So, nice, easy little promo from Eddie Kingston. It definitely felt like OG Eddie Kingston. Like Mad King Eddie Kingston. Not, whatever the heck he was doing with Hook Eddie Kingston. Then we get an interview from Mark Briscoe. saying, wasn't that long ago, certain people said I couldn't get it done. Haters are still here, but I got this belt. So what does that tell you? There are still doubters out there. I'm going to give them this message. You can kiss my ass. Which, bravo to you, Mr. Briscoe. Briscoe continues. It's one thing to become champion. It's another to keep it. And this Saturday, I'm defending against Daniel Garcia. Garcia, I'm out to stop you there. You want to be the face of Team... Oh, this is where Yuta Garcia and Marina Shafir come out. This is actually Yuta talking, which... That's weird. I'm going to say that. With Yuta saying, I want to stop you right there. You want to be the face of TNT, go ahead. But there's more than enough people around here calling you chicken because you have the mental acuity of a chicken. Briscoe responds, no, this is... Then Yuta hands the microphone to Garcia. Everyone's in the ring at this point. Garcia then says, I got some mean things I want to say, but I'm not saying anything. Everything about you is kind of sad. What will also be sad is when I take your title, and you have to figure out a different way to provide for your family. Briscoe then, holding himself back a little, picks the microphone back up, says, you got a butt kicking coming this weekend, but it would be bad to deprive these people here of this. Briscoe then slaps the taste out of Daniel Garcia's mouth. Garcia looks to fight back, but Yuta and Shafir hold him back. So, yeah, that's definitely very interesting. Then there's a kerfuffle in the back as the Triangle of Madness, so that's Thekla, Sky Blue, and, not Jamie Hayter, Julia Hart attack. I'm not even sure who they attacked. I think they were extras or they were some enhancement talent that were set up for this spot. Chris Statlander then runs them off as they get ready for their tag match, which, I'll say this, that match was really good. Speaking of a good tag match, we got a Tornado tag team match, playa. We got the Ops, so that's Katsuyori Shibata and Powerhouse Hobbs, taking on Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. Now, Page and Swerve actually come down from, not from the rafters, but from the crowd. At that point, the Ops spot them, send their dojo boys up, but Hangman and Swerve fight them off, including Swerve using a staple gun. And, yeah, that stuff hurts. Eventually, Shibata and Hobbs brawl with Hangman Page and Swerve. They fight to the concourse, which it's definitely been a while since I've seen a concourse brawl. They fight like outside of a concessions bar area. I think that was Shibata and Hook and Hangman. While Swerve and Hobbs were fighting like in the entranceway of the arena, right by the merch table, which I always love stuff like that. Eventually, they do fight back down to the arena, get in the ring, and they start the match proper. Now, this is Tornado Tag, so there were no tags needed. However, apparently these matches are not no DQ, which I didn't even realize. Like, matches like these are usually, at least in AEW, have been no DQ. But apparently they made this one DQs on for whatever reason. And honestly, this match was a whole lot of fun. Finish came after a buckshot lariat to Hangman Page, a house call from Swerve to pick up the win. That was a nice, fun matchup. We'll see who gets that world title from Joe now. Anyway, next we get a Don Callis promo, because of course we need more Don Callis. Where he says, "Bucks, you stole my money. I hope you're prepared to be put in the poorhouse. I got the best stars on the roster. So find yourself a partner. We're going to do a 6-man tag where the winner gets the $1 million. So then we get a weird Stokely promo, Stokely Hathaway, where he says Bang Gang won a title match against the most dangerous team in AEW. They think they deserve a shot. Well, next week you got your shot. When FTR beats you, they'll cure you of your addiction, and you can go to the back of the division where you belong." So, yeah, that was definitely an interesting promo from Stokely. That match should be really, really fun. Next matchup. Not only match of the night, potential match of the year candidate. Excuse me. We get a Continental Classic match between Speedball Mike Bailey and Kyle Fletcher. Now, the previous week we had Fletcher and Kevin Knight put on an absolute banger. I think this topped it. Like, this was an amazing matchup between two guys who could have a match with a broomstick and it'd be 5 stars. And we had both guys throw everything at each other, including Mike Bailey pulling out for the first time on AEW TV the Ultima Weapon. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's honestly really pretty simple. Bailey goes up to the second rope, flips over with a prone opponent on his hands and knees, does a knee drop on his back. It is honestly the craziest move ever. I do wish that was the move that finished the match, but the match kept going. Bailey attempted the Ultima Weapon off the apron, but that gets blocked by Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher with a big power bomb gets him back in, hits a big old boot to the corner, and then the sheer drop brainbuster for only a 2 count. Usually that'll put him away. Fletcher attempts the power bomb that gets blocked into a roll up for a 2 count. Fletcher attempts the brainbuster again. Bailey then brings him down into a roll up to pick up the win. Big old win for Speedball Mike Bailey in an amazing matchup. If you have a significant amount of time where you can watch this, give it a watch. It was amazing. Next up, we got a Hangman Adam Page interview. pretty much reiterating his goal to get back his world title. Then we get a Young Bucks promo. They're in the back saying, well, that our match is made official. It's going to be the Callis family versus the Bucks. But we need a partner. What do you say? Camera pans. Turns out they're talking to Luchasaurus. He just goes, ugh, and then points to Kenny Omega's locker room. Young Bucks go over, knock on the door. Kenny answers it with the Bucks saying, look, we got this money on the line. We need you to do this one more time. Kenny says, all right, I'll do this one more time. I don't want any of your money. If it's anything about Don and his family, I'll do it for free. Great promo and an awesome setup by Kenny Omega and the Bucks. That match should be awesome. And then we get to our main event of the evening for the AEW World Title. It's Eddie Kingston taking on Samoa Joe. While this match was pretty darn good, I'll say this, it maybe shouldn't have been the main event. Not saying they're not good enough, because this was really dang entertaining. But I do feel like maybe this should have been in the middle of the show with Speedball and Fletcher main eventing. That's just me. These two guys did a great job, though. With Eddie Kingston at advantage, he tries for the spinning back fist finisher. Joe catches him, locks him in the Coquina clutch for the submission win. Now, like me, and like a whole lot of other people, I expected a little bit more at the end, like a return, or, something else. But Joe just collects his titles, walks out of the ring. So, I would have liked a little bit more hype up for the World's End pay-per-view, which AEW title match is going to be Joe, Hangman, and Swerve in a triple threat, which, yeah, that should be fun. But it just got a little, corner graphic, which, I'm going to say this kind of bugs me all the time. I think AEW needs an on-screen matchmaker. Not saying authority figure, not saying general manager, just an extension of Tony Khan saying, oh, this match will happen here. I think that would add to the hype up of certain matches like this a whole lot more than just, match graphic on TV. But that's just me. Anyway, that's the show for us today. Again, I'm sorry I coughed a couple times through this. I am still dealing with something. Hopefully you all have a good rest of your week. I will try to get something out on Friday. It should be the end of the year awards, which I am definitely ready to give out. Probably won't be doing another long review like this for at least until after New Year's, so gonna be taking a little breather. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.